What's good, y'all? Time for a DL short. So there's a story out there that is been touched a little bit by the mainstream media. Newsweek has an article on it. Local news has covered it. This happened in Texas, and a lot of you people, well, not you people, a lot of folks who are watching this content or watch the this part of the internet, YouTube, and all that, have heard of this story. There was a woman in Texas who was hit in the face with a brick, and allegedly that was because the man that hit her wanted her phone number. She refused to give him the number, so he hit her with the brick. Now, you know, I wasn't going to talk about this story. I wasn't, So yesterday, that was, everyone, all of most of the content creators that, especially in the Black YouTube space, were touching this. From Willie D to MTR to a bunch of guys that I'm not even familiar with. Right? Shade Room's talking about this, of course. Young Turks are talking about this. Breakfast Club, usual suspects. So I have a few thoughts on this. And first of all, this type of violence is just uncalled for, especially when you're talking about hitting a woman. Having said that, ladies, stop believing that you can beat men. A lot of people ain't gonna like that statement, but ladies, leave these crazy dudes alone. There are people out there waiting for an opportunity to hurt others. They don't care if you're female. They don't care if you're male. They don't care if you're trans. They don't care. They get an opportunity, they're going to do something to you. The streets are vicious. They've always been vicious. This is an example of hyperviolence. I talk about this on this platform a lot. Americans are unhappy. They don't like the situation. People don't like the direction that our society is going, our country is going. People are lashing out in many ways. I've been around this type of violence my whole life. Growing up, it wasn't until the late 90s when I was able to get away from this type of violence. And it was still every now and then you come across an incident, you come across some whatever, and something pops off, right? But to get hit in the face with a brick. Now, I'm not going to show her face or the videos. You can find those on your own. They're all over. You don't even got to see the videos. So many thumbnails. I even thought about that. Like, I'm not even going to put it in the thumbnail. You can see the damage that was done to this woman's face. And according to some news reports, she won't be able to eat solid food for at least a week. Again, this goes hand in hand with this type of violence. So when you do go look for these videos, you're gonna find videos of her account of what was going on instantly. We're talking moments after the alleged incident happened. She was on one of the social platforms streaming live. So I've seen some videos. There's a video out there's a TikTok of one of the men who were present, and he was given an account that differs from this woman's account a little bit. That's out there. You can find it. But I just wanted to jump into Newsweek. Newsweek had an article. It was Newsweek and one other publication that was like mainstream media covered this. No one else really did. The rest were kind of like, National Enquirer type papers or whatever. But it says in Newsweek, a video has gone viral on social media of a woman documenting her experience after she claimed a man hit her in the face with a brick after she declined to give him her telephone number. So even in this article, when I read this article, Newsweek is really careful about the words that they use. With what's going on in our society, unfortunately, people aren't believing women in the ways that they used to believe women in the past. Ladies, again, this is another reason to be careful out there. On Sunday in the video on Instagram, a woman can be heard saying, "Y'all, this man just hit me in the face with a brick, and all these black men just watched. This man grab a rock and hit me in my face because I wouldn't give him my number." And then she continued to yell at the crowd, "I want to be a man. I want you to be a man, do something. You're going to let a man hit me in my face," right? So this is from the Newsweek article. And then the next video shows this woman in the hospital with a large swollen bump on the side of her face. And when they say large, man, I mean it's massive, bro. Some serious damage was done. In the video, she continued to say that the crowd of men just watched her get a brick thrown at her. Let the man get in the car and leave. How is this okay? She asked. So this happened in Houston, Texas. Newsweek is trying to get information. The videos posted to social media do not show the exact moment of the alleged altercation, and Newsweek cannot independently verify if she was hit by a man with a brick. So again, mainstream media will try to get the truth sometimes. I mean, they want to get sources, they want to be able to confirm stuff. The article goes on. Newsweek reached out to the Houston Police Department via email for a comment and has reached out to the woman as well. It doesn't look like law enforcement got back to him, got back to Newsweek. So it just kind of goes into whatever. The woman who was hit, she went on, a friend of hers started a GoFundMe. She made some money. There was some donations were sent because she's going to need it. I'm just keeping 100. She has severe injuries due to this altercation. You can plainly see that. But when you think about it, right, you think about a person who gets into some sort of incident or altercation or whatever, like this. You have this woman who's hit allegedly with a brick by a man in an area where other people are present and no one lifts a finger to help. Why? That's when you got to get into that part. Why? Why is it that no one stepped forward or no one tried to stop the guy? No one. Why? And a lot of people might say, oh, street code, you ain't going to say nothing don't talk to the police, snitches and all that. I don't think that's the case. When you look into this particular woman, like people have her Instagram and I think some of her socials like TikTok, which some of them has been suspended or removed. It was an article I was reading that kind of pointed that out. What was there that folks don't want the world to see? And again, it's out there. There's videos out there, and it's going to continue. I'm pretty sure Pink Book Lessons is going to cover this one. Apparently, this particular woman is known for going out and hitting people, smacking people, talking to folks, getting into their face. And there's a guy who has a video out there who called her a troublemaker. And no one wants to risk their life to help a troublemaker. So, again, I don't condone this sort of violence against anyone. But if you're out there in that world, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. And there is video out there showing this woman smacking people. It's a lot of race stuff. I've seen two videos in particular. One she smacked a young white man, and then in another she smacked an older white man. Like she'll smack the guy, and she'll walk off a few paces and like start twerking or make some sort of playful comment or whatever. Now, granted, she wasn't smacking them hard, like trying to hit them as hard as they can with her. She wasn't doing that. It wasn't a playful smack. It would be like maybe a little more forceful than that, but it wasn't like a blow. Right. And again, it's coming from a woman, and most people are going to be like, whatever. So there is evidence out there that this was not the type of woman who was out there helping old people cross the street and rescuing puppies. Like, this is someone who was out there pushing boundaries, trying to get attention. And she got attention. But again, I want to be clear. I don't condone any type of violence, especially against women. This doesn't make any sense. There's video out there of this woman saying that, women are the protectors and, making all these pro-woman comments, like really sounding like very, very feminist. Those videos are out there as well. And again, people, I say this all the time. Plausible deniability only works when there's no proof. You can't be out here with all this footage of you doing all these things. Something goes wrong. Now you want to be the victim. And maybe you are, in fact, the victim in that particular instance. But all this other stuff is out there. And it's going to affect the way society sees you. That's just how it works. If you out there and you're a troublemaker and you wind up getting beat up, they're going to point to that. Well, this person was always, they just ran across the wrong one. If you out there and you're promiscuous and you're out there doing all this stuff on film and now you want to settle down, your 3 or 4 phase is over, that video is still out there and it will be out there forever. That's going to be a problem just floating out there, right? It's going to be a problem. I would say the good thing is that this woman did not get deleted. She caught the blow here. If that blow would have been centered maybe more to the temples or something like that, it could have been some serious damage done. And it looks like she avoided that. That's a good thing. I hope that all parties learn something from this experience. I hope those of us who are watching learn something from this experience. Like, if you out there in them streets, even every time I go out, even with my old self, if I'm out there in them streets late at night and I'm in the right place at the wrong time or the wrong place at the right time, depending on how you want to look at it, and something happens to me, that's on me. I chose to be there. That's on me. Now, what I do to get myself out of that situation, again, that's on me as well. But whatever comes with that, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you have to use lethal force to defend yourself. Even if you manage to get out of that situation, someone's going to be hurt, and you got to carry that. And the question is always going to boil back to, well, why was I there in the first place? Every time we had drama growing up, every time something bad happened, someone would always say that, man, we shouldn't even be here. Or you get home and the grown-ups is like, what were you doing there? I told you to stay away from there. Don't be going around there. That always happens. Always happens. But ladies, please stop believing that you can get out here in these streets and go toe to toe with some man in some sort of physical altercation. Men are built for a level of violence that most women can't duplicate. You just can't. Not without help, not without some sort of weapon, not without some sort of training, something. And even then, it's a risky proposition. Ladies, there is no need to be as manly as me or as manly as the men in your life. Don't do it. There's no need to. It can only lead to bad things. Fellas, don't be picking up bricks and hitting people in the head with them. Don't do that. Don't do it. That's a very, very bad felony. It's a serious assault case right there. They can try to get you, hit somebody in the head with a rock, brick, or something like that, man. They can try to get you for attempted murder, depending on what jurisdiction you're in. Think before you act, fellas. There's nothing a woman can say or do to get me to hit her, no matter how bad I may want to. And there's no prize in beating up a woman. There's just none there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. There's a lot of angry people out there. A lot of angry people out there. And you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it sooner than later. Trust me when I tell you. There's people out here angry for no reason. They have their own reasons, but the acts, right? The violent acts that are being committed right now, today, for the smallest infraction doesn't make any sense. It just does not make any sense. So y'all be careful out there. Go check out the videos. I don't even need to link them in the description. You can find them. Just type it in. You type in hit with brick or woman hit, it's going to come right up. Not sure how this story is going to pan out. I am curious to see what the police reports say. I know the police are going to investigate this thing. Again, we already have one person who's come out and said that this person is a known troublemaker, and you know they're not going to risk their lives trying to help someone who does this sort of thing. So we'll see how this plays out. Like I said, she wasn't helping old people across the street and rescuing puppies. Right? She was out there doing her thing, getting attention, putting her hands on people. Who knows what happened with this guy and a number or whatever? Just sounds so extreme. Hey girl, let me get your number. No, you can't have my numbers. I'm gonna pick up a brick and hit her with it. There has to be another step or two that occurred before the action, or I should say reaction. Hey, let me get your number. No. And then maybe something else, and then something else that led to the reaction of somebody picking up a brick and using it to assault someone else. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm only trying to make sense of it. So let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Think before you act, people. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Peace.